Chosen ones, I need you to listen, not with the ears that are on the side of your head, but with the ears that are deep within your soul. Because there are things I must whisper into your spirit that cannot be shouted from rooftops. Things so sacred, so powerful, that to speak them to those who are not ready would be like casting diamonds into the mud and expecting them to shine. You see, when you are chosen, your life is not like the lives of others. You were never meant to fit into the mold of mediocrity, never meant to sit quietly while your destiny roared within you, like a lion trapped behind cage bars. And yet this truth that burns inside of you cannot be shared with everyone. It is not for every eye to see, or every ear to hear, because people who have not been kissed by the fire of God will never understand the way your soul glows. They will look at your brilliance and call it madness. They will feel the weight of your calling and call it arrogance. They will sense the depth of your spirit and call it delusion. And if you are not careful, their disbelief can strip the courage right out of your bones. You must understand, the chosen walk a road of secrecy, not because they are ashamed, but because what lives inside them is too sacred to be mishandled by careless hands. There are truths about your life, about your destiny, that you must learn to cradle close to your chest. You cannot tell people about the visions you've seen in the quiet midnight hours, when the world was still and God was whispering futures into your ears. You cannot tell people about the way the Spirit has been tugging on your soul, dragging you out of places that once felt comfortable, pushing you into deserts where no water seems to flow. You cannot tell them that you wake up each morning, feeling like you were born for something greater, because their eyes will roll and their mouths will twist, and before you know it, you'll start to wonder if maybe you imagined it all. But oh beloved, you didn't imagine it, you didn't make it up. You are chosen, and chosen ones are rarely understood. It is a lonely thing to carry light in a world that craves darkness. It is a burden to have sight, when so many would rather remain blind. And the truth is, not everyone is ready for the kind of light you carry. Some people will despise you for it, because your very presence exposes the shadows they've been trying to hide in. Some will envy you, not because you have everything, but because you have the one thing they cannot touch, the hand of God resting on your life. Some will try to talk you out of your destiny, not because they see clearer than you, but because they cannot fathom why God skipped over them and landed on you. This is why you cannot tell everyone about the fire that burns inside you. This is why you must protect your vision like a mother protects her child. Not every eye that gazes upon you wants to see you grow. Not every hand that reaches toward you intends to lift you up. Some hands are stretched out only to snuff out your flame. And yet the silence you must walk in is not a prison, but a sanctuary. Your secrecy is your shield. Your quietness is your covering. When you withhold your treasures from those who cannot see their worth, you are not withholding love. You are preserving life. You are ensuring that what God planted inside you is given the space to take root, to blossom, to bear fruit in its own season. Because chosen ones, hear me well, not everything God tells you in private is meant to be shared in public. Some promises are meant to be carried in silence until they are birthed in power. Some dreams are meant to be hidden away, until they are strong enough to stand against the wind. Do not rush to expose what God has carefully concealed, for the enemy lurks, waiting for premature revelations to devour. Yes, people will ask you questions. They will wonder why you have changed, why you no longer laugh at the same jokes, why you no longer dwell in the same places, why the old things no longer satisfy your soul. They will wonder why you keep so much of yourself hidden behind a curtain of silence. And when they ask, you must learn the art of smiling without answering, of speaking without revealing, of loving without explaining, because your explanation will never be enough for those who are not meant to understand. And it is not your duty to convince anyone of your calling. It is your duty to protect it. You must learn that the chosen walk differently. While others sleep, you wrestle with visions. While others celebrate the shallow, you mourn for the deep. While others are content with crumbs, your spirit will not rest until it holds bread that comes down from heaven itself. Do not expect the masses to understand the hunger that drives you. They will call it greed when in truth it is destiny. They will call it dissatisfaction when in truth it is divine, discontent pulling you toward greater. They will call it obsession when in truth it is passion set aflame by God. And if you reveal too much of this to people who cannot bear it, they will speak words into your soil that choke your growth. That is why you must beware. But O chosen ones, do not mistake secrecy for weakness. Do not think that silence means fear. No, your silence is power. Your restraint is strength. Your hiddenness is holiness. There are some things that are only holy because they remain hidden. There are some blessings that only blossom because they are shielded from the storm. You are not hiding because you are afraid. You are hiding because you are wise. You are hiding because you are aware that the most dangerous enemy of destiny is premature exposure. And when the time is right, the world will see. When the season has ripened, the fruit will speak for itself. You will not need to shout about who you are, because your life will declare it louder than any words ever could. You will not need to convince them that you were chosen, because the evidence will stand tall like a tree planted by streams of living water. You will not need to explain the path you walked, because your footsteps will leave imprints that cannot be denied. So do not grow weary in your silence. Do not grow bitter in your hiddenness, for the very thing you are protecting will one day rise up and protect you. The very dream you are cradling in secret will one day grow strong enough to carry you where you never imagined. And those who doubted, those who mocked, those who whispered behind your back will one day have no choice but to witness the glory of God shining through you. But until then, beware. Beware of loose lips that seek validation in empty conversations. Beware of sharing sacred truths with unholy ears. Beware of pouring precious oil into cracked vessels that cannot contain it. Beware of mistaking applause for approval or attention for affection or curiosity for care. Not everyone who leans close to hear your story is leaning in to celebrate you. Some are leaning in to sabotage. Some are leaning in to steal. Some are leaning in to twist your truth into their weapon. And once words leave your lips, they cannot be gathered back. Once secrets slip into the wrong hands, they cannot be reclaimed. Guard your mouth, chosen one. Guard it as you would guard your heart, because the truth is this: you are not like everyone else, and you never will be. You were set apart before the foundation of the world. You were knit together with threads of divine purpose. You were marked with fire that cannot be extinguished. And because of this, the path you walk will always be different. You will always feel a little out of place, a little misunderstood, a little isolated. But that is the cost of being chosen. That is the price of carrying light. And though it may be heavy, though it may be lonely, it is worth every step. And so you must learn to sit with your silence like an old friend, to cradle your mysteries as though they are sacred scrolls written by the very hand of God. Because they are. You must learn that not everything holy needs an audience. Not everything divine needs a witness. The chosen learn to build altars in private, to worship in shadows, to pray in corners unseen, and it is in those quiet places that heaven bends low to listen. Your power is not in the volume of your voice, but in the depth of your faith. Not in the crowd that cheers you on, but in the God who has marked you. And when you learn to hold your secrets with reverence, you become untouchable by those who would try to trample what they cannot understand. For you must know the chosen carry a weight others cannot bear. It is not just dreams you are hiding, but battles. It is not just visions you are shielding, but wounds. There are scars on your soul that you cannot explain, because to those who have never been cut, pain is a foreign language. You have been through nights so dark that your own tears became your only companions. You have walked through storms that should have drowned you, yet here you stand. And even in those moments, Even in those valleys, you could not tell the world what you were truly enduring, because to speak it would have been to expose your vulnerability to those who would only call it weakness. So you bore it silently, and that silence became your shield. That silence became your song. That silence became the womb from which your strength was born. Chosen ones, let me tell you this. The silence you carry is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is not void, it is abundance. It is not a lack, it is a harvest waiting to bloom. When you are quiet about your calling, the roots of your destiny stretch deeper into the soil, anchoring you in a place no storm can shake. When you hold your vision close, it matures in secret, safe from the prying eyes of doubt. Your silence is the dark soil in which the seed of your purpose germinates. And though others may not see the growth, though they may not hear the rustling of destiny beneath the ground, one day they will witness the blossom, and they will wonder how it happened overnight. But you will know the truth. It was not overnight. It was years of silence, years of prayer, years of carrying what could not yet be revealed. Do not despise this hidden season. Do not despise the loneliness, the misunderstanding, the restraint. It is not punishment. It is preparation. You are not forgotten, you are fortified. You are not being silenced, you are being sharpened. And though the world may not yet recognize who you are, heaven does. Though people may not yet affirm you, God already has. Though the crowd may not yet cheer, the angels already sing. The unseen world knows your name, chosen one, and that is why you must walk carefully. You cannot tell people about everything you carry, because not everyone will handle it with care. Some will handle your truth, like glass, dropping it at the first inconvenience. Some will handle your vision like clay, trying to mold it into something that fits their idea instead of God's design. Some will handle your destiny like fire, seeking to extinguish what was meant to burn. But you must protect it, even if it means walking in silence. And beware, chosen one, of the temptation to overshare out of loneliness. Beware of the craving for validation that whispers, "If only someone else knew, I would feel less alone." You see, validation from people is fleeting, but affirmation from God is eternal. When you look for comfort in the applause of the crowd, you trade eternal certainty for temporary noise. And the noise will fade, but the calling will remain. Do not let your hunger for companionship push you into revealing what must remain hidden. Let your loneliness push you deeper into God's arms, for He alone can carry the weight of your destiny without dropping it. And do not be deceived, chosen one, into thinking that secrecy is isolation. No, you are never alone. Even when you walk quietly, heaven walks with you. Even when you guard your dreams, the Spirit guards you. Even when you cannot speak, the earth itself testifies on your behalf. You are surrounded by witnesses you cannot see, cheered on by voices that do not shout in the streets, but whisper in eternity. You are not abandoned, you are not forgotten, you are chosen, and chosen is enough. Yet still the path is heavy, still the road is narrow, and there will be moments where you ache to share it all, to unburden yourself into the lap of someone who truly understands. But I must tell you, not everyone is ready to understand. And that is not your fault, nor is it theirs. It is simply the reality of being chosen. You have been given sight beyond what most can see, hearing beyond what most can hear, discernment beyond what most can grasp. And because of that, the language you speak is foreign to them. You are trying to describe colors to the blind, music to the deaf, oceans to the desert. They cannot comprehend it, not because they are evil, but because it was not given to them. It was given to you. And so you must learn to rest in the knowledge that your truth, though misunderstood by men, is fully embraced by God. But beware also of the enemy's subtle traps. He will whisper in your ear, "Tell them everything. Tell them so they will admire you, so they will believe in you, so they will follow you." But admiration is a poor substitute for destiny. The chosen are not called to be admired, they are called to be anointed. You are not chosen to impress, you are chosen to impact. You are not chosen to gather fans, you are chosen to gather souls. Do not trade the eternal for the applause of the temporary. Do not exchange the sacred for the cheap satisfaction of being seen. When God lifts the curtain, the world will see. Until then, remain hidden, and beware. And let me tell you something else, chosen one. Your silence is not wasted. Every tear you've cried in secret, every prayer whispered into the dark, every longing left unspoken, it is all stored up in heaven. Nothing is lost. The silence is sacred, and God hears it louder than any shout. When you refrain from telling the wrong ears, you are telling God instead, and He listens with perfect understanding. You can pour out your visions at His feet without fear of ridicule. You can reveal your pain in His presence without fear of betrayal. You can unmask your dreams before Him without fear of rejection. He is your confidant, your counselor, your keeper of secrets. And when the time comes, He will be the one to announce you. So hold steady, chosen one. Do not rush your revealing. Do not force your unveiling. Do not demand that people see what God has asked you to hide. For when God brings you into the light, no man can dim it. When God speaks your name in the halls of destiny, no enemy can silence it. When God opens the door before you, no hand can close it. Your silence is only for a season, but your impact will be for eternity. And let the world underestimate you. Let them dismiss you. Let them think you are ordinary. There is power in being underestimated, for they will never see you coming. While they laugh at your quietness, you are building strength. While they mock your silence, you are sharpening your sword. While they overlook your presence, you are growing roots deep into the ground. And when the time is right, when heaven says now, you will rise with a force so undeniable that no one will question if you were chosen. They will see it in your fruit, in your fire, in your footsteps. So beware, chosen one, and be wise. Walk gently, speak sparingly, move prayerfully. Protect the sacred flame within you, until it is time for the world to feel its warmth. And when that time comes, it will not be because you told them, it will be because God showed them. Until then, your silence is not your prison, it is your power. Your hiddenness is not your weakness, it is your weapon. And your calling is not diminished by being concealed, it is magnified, purified, and prepared. So rise, chosen one, not with noise but with depth, not with explanations but with evidence, not with chatter but with change. Rise knowing that what you cannot tell people about is the very thing that will one day transform the world. Rise with the confidence that your destiny is secure in the hands of the one who chose you. And as you rise, beware, for many will question, many will doubt, many will resist, but none of them can undo what heaven has already spoken. You are chosen, and chosen is enough. But there is something more you must understand, something deeper, something heavier, something that rests in the marrow of your bones whether you want it there or not. Being chosen is not a title, it is a burden. It is not a crown of gold, it is a crown of thorns. It is not applause, it is sacrifice. It is not comfort, it is calling. And because of this you cannot tell people about everything that burns inside you, for they will see your fire and confuse it with vanity. They will see your hunger and mistake it for greed. They will see your loneliness and call it failure. They will not understand that your journey is not about what can be seen but about what is unseen. They cannot know the weight of conversations you have with God, in the middle of the night, when your body aches for sleep, but your spirit is wide awake, because heaven refuses to let you rest until you hear its whisper. They cannot know the tears you swallow, because to release them would invite questions you have no desire to answer. They cannot know the wars you fight in silence, the battles no eye has seen, the victories no one has celebrated. So you carry them quietly, because you know that some treasures lose their value the moment they are spoken too soon. Chosen ones, beware of rushing to explain yourself. The urge will come, like a flood, because you are human and you long to be known, to be seen, to be understood. You will want to look into the eyes of another and say, "This is who I am. This is why I am different. This is why I cannot walk where you walk, laugh where you laugh, settle where you settle." But if you say it too soon, you will bleed pearls into hands too clumsy to hold them, and they will drop what was meant to be guarded. They will trample what was meant to be honored. They will speak lightly of what cost you everything, and once they speak it lightly, you will feel the sting of disrespect, the ache of being misunderstood, and the temptation to bury your calling altogether. But you must not. Silence is your shield, not your shame. Restraint is your strength, not your weakness. The hiddenness you endure is not punishment, but preparation. You must know that silence is where the chosen learn obedience. It is in the quiet that your roots grow deep enough to hold the weight of the fruit you are destined to bear. A tree does not announce its growth in the soil. A seed does not shout about its sprouting beneath the ground. It grows quietly, unseen, uncelebrated, until the day it breaks the earth and no one can deny what has been happening all along. So it is with you, chosen one. Your silence is not in vain. It is the soil of your becoming. And though the world may look at you and see nothing, heaven looks at you and sees everything. Though people may measure you by what you have revealed, God measures you by what you have carried. Do not be fooled into thinking silence is easy. It will tear at your soul sometimes. It will feel like swallowing fire, like burying songs that were born to be sung, like carrying a storm inside a jar that cannot contain the thunder. You will feel the ache of wanting to release, to declare, to testify. But you must wait. You must learn the holy discipline of waiting. For to release a word before its time is to kill it before it breathes. To reveal a vision before it matures is to send it into the world fragile and unguarded. And fragile things, when left exposed too soon, often die. Protect your vision, chosen one. Guard your promise. Keep your mouth as a gate that only opens when heaven commands. There will be those who come close to you, not because they love you but because they sense something in you that they want to own. They will flatter you with their words, pretending to honor your spirit. But beneath the honey is poison. They will lean in with curiosity. But their curiosity is not to support, it is to dissect. They want to know your secrets so they can hold them against you. They want to know your dreams so they can plant seeds of doubt. They want to know your plans so they can twist them into stumbling blocks. This is why you cannot tell people everything. This is why you must learn discernment, the gift that separates wolves from sheep, pretenders from believers, friends from thieves. Not everyone who smiles at you loves you. Not everyone who hugs you wishes you well. Not everyone who claps for you wants to see you rise. Beware of wolves dressed as listeners, for their ears are hungry, not their hearts. And yet, even in this, do not grow bitter. Do not harden your spirit. The danger of silence is that it can turn into suspicion, and suspicion into cynicism, and cynicism into coldness. But that is not your portion. Your silence must be laced with love. Your secrecy must still carry kindness. Do not let the weight of being misunderstood turn you into stone. Do not let the need to guard your heart turn it into a fortress so high no one can enter. For though you cannot tell people everything, you are still called to walk in love. You are still called to shine, to forgive, to embrace, to lift others even while you carry what they cannot see. You are chosen not just for power, but for compassion, not just for revelation, but for redemption, not just for destiny, but for love. And O chosen ones, let me remind you of this: God Himself walks in silence. The most powerful works of heaven are often done without announcement. Seeds sprout underground. The child grows in the womb unseen. The stars move in galaxies beyond our vision. Even the cross, the most powerful act of love ever displayed, was misunderstood in the moment. Those who watched thought it was defeat, but in silence, in shadows, in what looked like weakness, eternity was being rewritten. If God Himself works in hiddenness, why should you be surprised when He asks the same of you? Do not resent the quiet. Do not despise the secrecy. It is the fingerprint of God upon your calling. And I must tell you, there will be days when your silence feels like isolation. Days when the ache of loneliness presses against your ribs. When you wonder why you cannot be like others. Why you cannot simply speak freely and be embraced. Why you cannot shout your dreams from the rooftop without fear. But remember this: you are not isolated. You are insulated. God has wrapped you in silence not to starve you but to preserve you. Just as a seed is covered in the dark, not to punish it but to protect it until its season, so you are covered until your time comes. And when your time comes, O chosen one, no silence will be able to contain you. You will rise, not because you spoke too soon, but because you endured long enough. So beware. Beware of your own impatience. Beware of your own need for validation. Beware of your own hunger to be understood. These are the cracks the enemy will try to crawl through, whispering, "Tell them everything. Show them now. Reveal it all." But you must remember that your destiny does not require their approval. Your anointing does not depend on their applause. Your path does not need their permission. What God has written over your life was inked before the foundation of the earth, and no man can erase it. The only danger is if you hand it over too soon. Protect it, guard it, cherish it. And while you guard it, do not forget to walk boldly in the little steps you are given. Silence does not mean inaction. Hiddenness does not mean paralysis. You may not be able to tell everyone what burns in your soul, but you can live it in small ways every day. You can love deeper. You can serve humbler. You can rise earlier. You can work harder. You can move with excellence in the shadows, knowing that one day the light will find you. The chosen are not called to speak first. They are called to act first. Let your life speak for you when your lips must stay sealed. Let your fruit shout when your words must be restrained. And chosen one, know this: there will come a day when the silence lifts, when the covering is removed, when the hiddenness ends. And on that day you will not need to convince anyone of who you are, because your life will testify louder than your words. On that day every secret seed you planted in faith will bloom into undeniable evidence. On that day every sacrifice, every tear, every moment of restraint will make sense. But until then, beware. Beware of revealing too soon. Beware of speaking too much. Beware of entrusting your treasures to hands that do not value them. Keep your silence as a sacred offering, for it is the silence that is shaping you into who you were born to be. So walk on, chosen one, with quiet fire in your bones. Walk on, carrying mysteries that only heaven understands. Walk on, trusting that your silence is not wasted but woven into your destiny. Walk on, unshaken by misunderstanding, unfazed by doubt, unbroken by loneliness. For you are chosen, and chosen is enough. The world may not yet see it, but heaven has already declared it. And when heaven declares a thing, no silence, no secrecy, no shadow can undo it. You are chosen, and because you are chosen, you must beware. But do not fear, do not shrink, do not falter. For what you cannot tell people about now, will one day become the testimony that shakes nations, the evidence that inspires generations, the light that drives back the darkest night. Until then, guard it, protect it, nurture it, and trust the one who placed it in you. For he is faithful, and his timing is perfect. And still I say to you, chosen ones, that your silence will often feel heavier than your words ever could. For words have wings, they fly, they scatter, they can be forgotten, but silence sits inside your chest like a stone, pressing against your ribs, demanding strength to hold it steady. And yet this stone is not a weight that crushes, it is a cornerstone, the foundation upon which your future is being built. You may feel the ache of carrying it, you may feel the loneliness of not being able to spill it into waiting ears, but every moment you endure is proof that you are strong enough for what is coming. Do not despise the stone in your chest, for it is making you unshakable. There are days you will walk into rooms where laughter fills the air, where conversations flow like rivers, where secrets are shared in reckless abundance, and you will feel the sting of being different. You will hear the careless way people scatter their thoughts, the way they hand over pieces of themselves cheaply, and part of you will envy the ease with which they live. But remember, chosen one, you were not designed for ease, you were designed for impact. And impact does not come cheaply. It comes with the cost of discipline, of silence, of restraint. It comes with the ache of knowing things others cannot yet understand. It comes with the burden of carrying light in a world that would rather remain in shadow. There will be moments when you feel misunderstood, not because you are wrong, but because your vision is too vast for their eyes to hold. And in those moments, you will want to speak, to explain, to unravel every thread so they can see the tapestry as you see it. But hold your tongue, chosen one, for vision cannot be explained to those who have not been given sight. They may nod their heads politely, but their spirits will not grasp it. They may even mock you not because they are cruel, but because they are blind, and blindness mocks what it cannot see. This is why silence is your wisdom. To speak to the blind of colors is to invite their laughter. To stay silent is to preserve your peace. And hear me well, your silence is not passive.